By way of introduction, I'm Mitchell, and I'm the oldest son of our birthday girl today. And I want to welcome you all to our Costco wholesale theme party if you haven't figured out what that is. This is going to be one of a couple different toast moments to Mom for her memorial birthday. And but first of all, for those of you that are still confused, because I see some confused faces, Costco is a special type of a store where it's about 80 to 90,000 square feet of a warehouse that you can go in and buy items in bulk. And so the reason we made this a Costco theme party is that Mom spends probably 80 to 90% of her free time there buying things in bulk, and then she spends the 20% of her other free time returning the 90% of the things that she buys. And that's why, just to give you some orientation of the props, we have our appetizers. And when you go to Costco, again, for those who haven't done it, you walk around and there's stations like this and people offer you tastings and samplings. That's how we usually got dinner when we were growing up. His Mom would stand there and get them all and bring them to us.
Come on, there was no Costco.
In 1986, the first Costco opened, actually, just to fact check. So lots of appetizer stations, and we put some annotations on each of these appetizers, some of Mom's favorites. And then secondly, my wife and daughter over there, Sadie, put together these shirts that say need to return something, ask Sylvia on the back, and 75 years of experience, so each of you get one. The shirts are not returnable since they didn't come from Costco. Number 3 is our dear friend Andy Greenwood, who's very gifted with the power of writing, took the Costco policy of return, and over there he actually redlined it and edited and revised it for how my mom interprets it. So you should all, and there's some of that on the table, you can read that. So that's kind of the theme. Before I read this, I just want to say a quick thank you to Deborah and John, who are our gracious hosts in their beautiful home. They always roll out the red carpet, and they're moving to Charlotte in July, so this will be the last time you'll ever be here. But enjoy it, and take anything that doesn't look like it's necessary. Okay, so now that I've given everybody an understanding of who Costco is and what it means, it turns out I was fortunate enough to meet the president of Costco and do some business with him. And so when I told him it was Mom's birthday, I asked him if, I told him we were going to do a Costco themed thing, and I said, would you mind doing something, giving my mom a gift? She spends a lot of time there. And he said, absolutely, give me just a little bit of information about your mother, and I'll put something together. So this week he sent me this letter, and I'm going to read it to you, and then Mom can frame it put it on the refrigerator next to my picture from when I was 7. So it says, Dear Mrs. Grossback, my name is Ron Vaccaris, and I'm a Senior Vice President and Leadership Team member of Costco Wholesale Corp. Your son Mitchell and I know one another, so when he reached out to me about your upcoming birthday and doing something special for you, I immediately asked our team to begin brainstorming creative ways to help you celebrate. For starters, we're honored that you're such a big fan of ours, as Mitch indicated how frequently you shop with us. Mitch wasn't aware of this when he contacted me, but it's actually common practice within our business to try and proactively acknowledge all of our long-term loyalty shoppers on their milestone birthdays, based on the criteria of exceeding certain spending thresholds. So, as a routine part of this recognition process, I asked our team to review your transaction history and shopping tendencies. I didn't actually know he was going to do this, Mom. So we could determine an appropriate gift for you. You might be interested to learn that we track extensive data and statistics here at Costco across all of our customer base. And look at every metric to identify trends and improve our business. This is when I started reading this, I thought, oh shit. What did I do? Well, it turns out that when our customer relations team were reviewing your records, one particular statistic stood out. There's a data point we track called return propensity. which gets calculated by taking the number of returns processed by any given customer spanning a period of years.
You're banned.
And then assessed on a returns per period of time spectrum. Stewie will explain that to me later. It allows us to understand essentially what dollar volume purchased is returned and what percentage of overall merchandise acquired comes back to us. Sylvia, our reporting indicated that you have one of the highest return propensities across our entire customer base, which exceeds 90 million registered members. To put this in greater perspective, your return propensity puts you in the top 0.001% of our total membership community. In fact, this number is so alarming that I assumed it was a mistake and instructed our team to dive a layer or two deeper to see if this might simply be a calculation error. After further due diligence, we noted the following highlights and trends from your return history. Okay. First, there's an extraordinary volume of returns around fish and seafood. Some fish returns seemingly occurred more than 3 months after purchase. Very confusing to us. A men's electric shaver was returned to us in 2002, although there was no receipt presented upon the return. We learned that this was a product we had on sale in 1986, just 4 years after we opened our doors. Hence, it seems you returned the used razor 16 years after purchase. Very interesting. We found a return process for kosher potato blintzes, and our merchant team confirmed we've never carried such an item. Also, on the exterior of the package, there was a black Sharpie writing that read, "Ellen says to cook at 375, not 400, but Edie disagrees." Who is Edie and Ellen? This is puzzling us. Very recently, you returned a pair of Bose headphones, but the team added notes to the return record that there was an extensive amount of wax and hair attached to the earbuds. Again, this is rather unusual and kind of gross. A partial bag of pistachios was returned, but 80% of the nuts had been eaten. The bag was predominantly empty shells. Also, a used flossing stick was found in the bag. Lastly, we processed your return of a half-eaten rotisserie chicken. But there was a note stuffed inside the chicken's canal that read, "Very dry and overcooked, too much garlic and extremely salty." In closing, we wanted to inform you that it's clear our customer return staff at your local Costco have been excessively patient and lenient with you throughout the years. However, I regret to inform you that given our findings, we'll need to have our Customer Oversight Committee further evaluate whether your behavior should result in permanent suspension of your membership. We'll make this decision within the next 60 days. But in the interim, we've identified a close circle of your quote-unquote friends and known associates that we've also flagged to your home store's return team, in case you try to enlist some of these individuals to carry out returns as your proxy on your behalf. We won't divulge who's on that list, as I'm assuming several are within a few feet of you right now. Sylvia, don't worry, because it's not all bad news. Per Mitchell's original request, we do want to thank you for your loyalty and patronage, and wish you a very happy 75th birthday. So please, let's ask all your friends to raise their glass of whatever they might have. Champagne, of Kirkland brand champagne, compliments of my office. Toast you in celebration to many happy but less frequent returns. Yours truly, Ron Baccaris, Senior Vice President, Costco. Cheers!
Thank you.
Did they give her a Sam's card?
Cheers. Cheers. So we have dinner that's the prelude to dinner, and then Dad's speech will be before dessert.